Welcome to the Strength of America podcast page. I'm Bob Davis.
Bobby Davis.
Yeah, appreciate you guys joining us in there. Want to get our intro video and update for you guys. Any of our newcomers in there, make sure all of you hit the subscribe button and the bell. But we basically want to let you know what our why is. And the why for me is I started Strength of America. Now this is my 30th year starting in a program out in Arizona. But prior to that, I was on the staff for the strength and conditioning staff at the University of Nebraska with Boyd Epley back from 85 to 89. And working with those athletes was fantastic. Enjoy it. Still watch what's going on. It's great. However, I wanted to try and find a program and create something that we can cut down on injuries. And I know as you parents, coaches out there that have had knee problems, back, things going on, we could have done differently. That's why I did this program. It's really to help these kids out so they have less problems than I did. By the time I was 21, I'd already had 3 knee and 2 shoulder surgeries, and it's just way too much at that point. But as a young wrestler, you didn't know much about what was going on. Our coaches did the best they could. However, strength training, injury prevention, mobility, just, they didn't know that much about it. So we lifted hard, and as a wrestler, you didn't complain a lot. You just went through and did it. However, through time, we realized we want to encourage these kids to let us know what's bothering them, what's going on, how we can find these things. But for us, it was setting up a program specifically so that you know what to do, because we've got a lot of volunteer coaches that are doing a great job with kids all over the country and all sports out there. But unfortunately, they don't have a lot of background on strength training and speed development and injury prevention and evaluating injuries and what you need to do. So we want to be that go-between to help them out and give that. So a lot of these videos are going to be specific to that so that you can find out, okay, are they prone to knee injuries? Are they prone to shoulder problems? What's going on here? How often do we eat? So that's where we set this program at. And Bobby was kind of my guinea pig for a lot of years. And we set the program, we started it. But as a young athlete, it was just part of it. My kids growing up, that they were going to do strength training. It was a part of what they were doing if they wanted to keep in, because I wanted them feeling better by the time he gets to 50 or 50 plus, that he feels better than I do. The knees are better and things are functioning. I can say, knock on wood, him going through the program and keeping up, went through all of his younger years of it, competing soccer, wrestling, going through high school, college wrestling as well, and getting through without ripping up his joints and things. He's healthy, he's strong, he's a great example for us. But that's also, with his experience going into it, he's a great fit to be able to come in these podcasts, and people like looking and listening to Bobby a little more than me sometimes too. So Bobby, I want to introduce to you, and he can tell you a little bit more about his why, what his main function of Strength of America and the podcast is about, and how we can help you guys.
Cool. So, yeah, as I was going through, it kind of got built into me at an early age that, if I was going to be doing any sports, and I had to participate in strength conditioning. As I grew up, it just became something that on a daily basis, it's just what I was doing. I was training. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't really think it was training all the time. I just thought it was something you did. And I think part of that was helpful was because it was at a young age and I was around it so often. It just seemed normal. But as I was going through, I definitely found out that when I got to my high school years, as I started to develop, I wasn't a really big guy. It wasn't like huge, didn't have a lot of muscles or anything like that, but I was strong. I knew how to leverage my body very well. In the sport of wrestling, that's huge. So I started to find that, the training had helped me not only as a strength standpoint, but also in a confidence standpoint. I found myself beating kids just because I was mentally tougher and I could grind out a match and win it in the overtime when they'd gas out. Little things like that. As I go through high school, my coaches would put me at higher weights because I was one of the better wrestlers on the team, so they knew that I could handle myself. Quickly you find out when you wrestle bigger people, you got to learn how to leverage and use technique and be very efficient. And I found out that I was able to do that just because of the type of training that we were doing. So that was huge from a confidence standpoint and just developing and becoming a better wrestler. Outside of that, I realized I always think back to that one match where that kid, I had him in a front headlock on the ground, and he comes up underneath me, and he comes out the back side as my arms are here, his head's right here. He came underneath me and was standing up. My shoulder was just backing behind me, my elbow, my body just looked kind of freaky and weird. But luckily after that situation, I didn't come out with an injury, didn't come out with a torn rotator cuff, labrum, anything like that. Had no issues. Felt a little weird, but I mean, outside of that, I was
weird too.
Yeah, outside of that, I was healthy, and I was like, wow, I get it now, outside of the confidence and the strength, but I just realized the resiliency aspect of training. It really helped me not worry about getting into positions where I felt like some people might get injured or this or that. I just was a lot more durable. So it was huge.
That's perfect. Yeah, and that's again the short synopsis of what we're really about and what we're doing with the Strength of America page. But a big part for us is encouraging you guys as parents and coaches and even our athletes that follow us as well, is what can we do to help? We want to keep going out. We have videos we put out there that we know are common questions that we go out there, what we know we want to get the message across. But what are things that you run into? What are the things going on your practices? Or what would you like to see? Or do you have a number of your baseball players that all seem to have elbow and shoulder problems? There are specific things we need to do. And just playing the sport, especially year-round training, unless you're doing conditioning to handle the stress of it, that's why we're seeing so many overuse injuries. So we'll put a lot more things out for you, but we just want to welcome you to the page. Make sure you got to see what we're about. Please tag it, share friends, your teammates, your coaches. Encourage the coaches to get in, because again, they can't expect you to know everything, just like we're not going to go out and coach football or anything else for you. But conditioning, get ready for the sport, being your best, cutting down the chance of your injuries for your athletes. That's what we want. We want the kids safe, we want them healthy, having a great time. Performance, yes, is key. We still work hard when they get the performance, but I want them healthy. When they hit 50 years old, they go, oh, yeah, Bob, I feel pretty good. I feel much better than you did. Saw you walking around. So that's what we want. So welcome to the page. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications to get all the updates. But please comment, email us, let us know what's going on. theSOApodcast @gmail.com, the information right down there. Email us, let us know what you want to know. We'll find out with videos. We'll put them together and get them out there for you as often as we can. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the videos.
See you later.